Good morning. It is currently 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning and I'm about to leave Munich on a little adventure, so come with me. So today I'm going to be travelling from Munich city to Neuschwanstein Castle in the south of Germany. It's one of the most popular tourist destinations in Europe, and while the German €9 ticket is available, where you can travel all over Germany for just €9 a month, I thought I'd take advantage of that and go see the castle today. I've made it to Munich Hauptbahnhof now, and I'm just waiting for the train to arrive. So if you are going to Neuschwanstein Castle, the train from Munich, the direct train, takes about 2 hours. So I'll be leaving here at 9:30, and then I should be arriving over there about 11:30. And then my tour of the castle is at 2:30, so plenty of time to get some nice shots around the place. Well, I've found the castle. Now it's just a matter of hiking all the way up there. I made it to the base of where the castle's there. Bought myself a hat in the gift shop because I didn't bring one with me. And that was just a matter of avoiding tourists and trying to make my way up to the castle. I've decided not to take the transport. I'm going to walk, so it should take about 40 minutes to get there. So that's the other castle, I think, that I won't be visiting today, unfortunately. And that's the one I am visiting. Stop for a quick coffee on my way to the castle. That's where we're going. Just gotta wait for the tour to start. It's like a minefield trying to avoid everyone taking pictures of themselves or whoever they're with the castle. It's very impressive, I will admit. Behind me there is the entrance to the castle, so I'm still a little bit early for my tour, so I'll probably go back down to the courtyard and get rid of my bags and stuff and then come back. Fresh out of my tour of the castle. What I didn't realise going in is that most of the castle is actually completely unfinished. There's about 5 rooms that are finished, and when you do the tour you get a tour of those rooms, and it's quite short. It was like a 25-minute tour. So personally, not sure I recommend it as a like 4 hours out of your way trip from Munich. Absolutely not worth it. If you're in the area anyway, absolutely go. That's the area around the castle is very beautiful, but as for the castle itself, don't feel like you're missing anything if you don't get tickets to go in, because you're not. Hi everyone, now that I am back from my trip at Neuschwanstein and I've had time to think about my little adventure and recovered from the inevitable heat stroke from being outside in the sun all day, thought I'd have a chat and let you know how you might be able to get to Neuschwanstein for a little day trip yourself. So let's have a look. So first thing first, I would highly recommend buying your tickets for Neuschwanstein Castle in advance online if you can at all, especially if you want to go on a very specific day, because they do sell out very quickly and most of the tours are in German. So if you're interested in getting one in English, there's not very many tours available. So apart from Schloss Neuschwanstein, there are 2 other places beside it that you can also go and visit, and they are Schloss Hohenschwangau. My German lessons are going okay, but some of these things are hard to pronounce. And then the Museum of the Bavarian Kings. So there are 3 things that you can get tickets to go to. Now you can choose to just get a ticket for one of them like I did, so I just got tickets for Neuschwanstein, but you can get tickets for both of the castles or one of the castles and the museum, or you can get tickets for all 3. So if you're going to make a day out, I would recommend getting tickets for all 3. Here are the ticket prices for the castles and the museum. Neuschwanstein cost me €17.50. Hohenschwangau Castle looks like it costs €23.50 for an adult. The museum is €16.50. It's cheaper for children and students, seniors, etc. Now, if I were to go back there again, I would have gotten a special ticket which gets you entry into all of the above. For €48.50 you can get a ticket that will get you into all 3 on whatever day, and then when you pick that ticket on the website you can select what times you want to go to what tours, and it also recommends the amount of time you leave between each tour if you want to be on time, because there is a bit of a significant walk between the 2 castles. And then the Museum of Bavarian Kings you will pass through on your way there. So you could do that either first or last on your way back. If you're going from Munich, you need to travel first to Füssen. To get to Füssen, I would recommend the Bavarian regional ticket if you're traveling from Munich. Now, if you're traveling from somewhere outside of Bavaria, it will cost you more. But the Bavarian regional ticket will cost you €22 and you can travel an unlimited number of times within that day. So that will cover you for your return journey. Now the train from Munich to Füssen takes about 2 hours, give or take 15 minutes, depending on which train you take. And I believe it leaves about every hour. Now, once you're in Füssen, you will need to hop on the bus to get up to the castles. Now, if you feel like walking, go for it, but it will take you about an hour to get there. So the bus stop is right outside the train station, so you literally just cross the road and wait for the bus. The day that I was there was a massive queue for the bus, so I would highly recommend arriving in Füssen well before your time to go to the castles. Once I got on the bus, it must have been about 20 minutes after I arrived in Füssen, which is pretty good, but I have been told it can take up to an hour. Then the bus ride itself took maybe 10-15 minutes, about that, maybe even less. And then from there you have the option of either walking to the castles or taking some transport. Now, the only transport that was running the day I was there was a horse-drawn carriage, which will take roughly the same amount of time as it would to walk, but it saves you the hassle of walking. I would give yourself about 40-45 minutes for the walk, and it doesn't actually take that much time to walk, but about halfway up, a little bit past halfway up, there is a lovely little cafe and a tourist shop that you can have a look around, buy some souvenirs, grab a cup of coffee or grab a snack or something, and there's a restaurant / hotel at the foot of the castle as well. Leave yourself plenty of time, and just remember to be outside the main gate of the castle at about 20 minutes to 15 minutes before your tour. For the tour itself, you need to rock up at the gate. Obviously, you need to show them your ticket. Just show them that the time that your tour is on at, and they'll let you in. Then if it says approximately 15 minutes prior to your tour, but I think I got in 20 minutes before mine, so it doesn't really matter that much. They're not super strict on it. When you go inside the courtyard, there is like a big kind of open area. You can explore a little bit around the courtyards. There's not a huge amount to see, but you can go up some steps and have a look in around the castle area and have a look over the walls, and there's a massive valley down below you, so that's quite interesting to have a look at. But to get into the actual tour, there's turnstiles and there's a screen above you. Now everyone will have a tour number, so you can see, maybe you can't see mine, but my tour number was 480. So there is a big screen above the turnstiles, and it'll show up what number they're letting through. So you need to keep an eye on that, and when it shows up your number, you scan your QR code at the turnstiles and it lets you through. And then there's someone there waving you over to whatever direction you need to go. So you need to go up the spiral staircase to the reception desk. They'll give you an audio guide, and then you are off on your tour. Now, what I didn't realise when I went to the castle is that it's unfinished and it's very new. It was being built from 1869 to 1886. And when you're on the tour, you find out that the king, Ludwig II, only lived in the castle about 6 months before he died, and the castle was actually never finished. Being in Europe, you're kind of used to these old castles having like this long history of like loads of different people visiting the castle, loads of people living there, historical events happening there. This castle has none of that. It was basically just half built and left. And now, don't get me wrong, the inside is very pretty, but I like to go and hear the historical stories. I don't want to just go and have a look at the castle. So I was kind of disappointed about that. Literally, some parts of the castle are being held up by scaffolding. And then there's a room that's like perfectly decorated. And then you go through a corridor and you're like, oh, that's just scaffolding holding this whole castle together. And then you go into the next room and that's done. That was a bit strange, I'll be honest. The tour was very short. It was about 25, 30 minutes maybe. Then you're kind of given free rein in the rest of the castles. There's a balcony, you can go out and take pictures. I took a lovely picture, I'll show you here. Then there's like a little cafe and a souvenir shop. And then you basically just walk through a long tunnel until you reach the exit. To be honest, I know the ticket itself was only $17.50, but I wouldn't go again. You know, there's been a lot of like historical places that I've been. I'm like, oh, I'd love to go again. I'd even do the tour again, you know, just to hear all the stories. But Neuschwanstein, no, I wouldn't go again. I would do the other two things that I didn't get to do. So I would go to Hohenschwangau and I would go to the Museum of Bavarian Kings if I went there again. So all in all, really, like, it was a good day. It was. I just wish that I went to visit all of the castles and the museum instead of just one of them. I just assumed since Neuschwanstein was the most famous of the castles that it was the most impressive, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe that's not the case, and I'm wondering why it was so popular, but I guess it looks pretty from the outside, so that counts for something. So yeah, if you're taking a day trip from Munich to the castles, I would highly recommend getting a ticket that gets you into the two of them and the museum, and get yourself a Bavarian regional ticket, which costs €23, not €22. So in total, the day trip will cost $71.50 per person. Now, if you are traveling with more people, you can get a group discounted rate on the regional ticket. So it will cost at most $71.50 per person. Now, if you just want to go to one of the castles or just the museum, that's fair enough. Or if you just want to go have a little bit of a wander around the area, which is absolutely beautiful and I would totally recommend going there, then it would only cost you the price of the train ticket. As a word of warning, if you don't have the Bavarian regional ticket and you just bought a ticket for the train, you will need to pay for the bus when you get to Füssen. But I would recommend getting one that covers you for all of your travel. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on my adventure to Schloss Neuschwanstein. It was interesting, we shall say. And let's see where I end up next. Bye-bye.